All right, everyone. Is college football as we know it on its last breath? That's what Paul Feinbaum said a couple days back. We discussed that on the show. I want you to comment below right here. It is TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile. They want you to visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to learn how you can get value and coverage through T-Mobile. So is it on its last breath? No, I think it's just in a evolution state, and it's changing, and some people are a little worried about the direction that it is all going and what it's going to do to the sport. One of the people on the show that talked about that was Sam Houston State Bearcat head coach Casey Keeler. He joined us on the show because A&M is taking on Sam to start the season, and we're trying to get a little spring recap of all the teams that A&M is playing against. He had some really interesting stuff to say. A lot of props for Texas A&M, but also how he is really worried about the direction of college football. So we talked about that. We had Recruiting Country with Ryan Broniger. There was some conversations during Recruiting Country that, let's just say, got interesting. All right? I'm just going to leave it at that. Kendall Rogers joined us from D1 Baseball. He thinks if A&M beats Vandy this weekend, they win the series, they're probably on their way to hosting a regional. That's how the story has changed. And then during the Go Hour with OB, I don't know how we got here, but somehow, some way, some shape or form, we started talking about TexAgs employees as characters on Goodfellas. Would love for you guys to comment on that below as well. Let us know who you think each character could be. Is TexAgs Rewind?
Kind of like Al Capone in The Untouchables. You send one of mine to the hospital, I send one of yours to the morgue.
See, when you do mafia talk, you got me like all flustered here. I love it. You know, Eric wouldn't even know what you're talking about if he were here. Like, Al Capone, who's that? Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, what's that?
Anna Rosa, you ever watch Goodfellas?
I actually have, believe it or not, with my dad.
Great.
I liked it. Yeah, it was a little intense. I don't like all the gory stuff, but
Godfather
good
2?
Plot. I haven't seen that.
Godfather
Goodfellas
1.
is where it's at. I need to watch Godfather.
So if I said to you,
hey, how you doing?
now if I said to you,
Whoa. You can do
if
that
I said
again.
to you, do that again.
No, that was.
If I said to you, funny how? What's so funny about me? Do I amuse you like a clown? Would you know what I'm talking about?
No, but I would recognize that.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like I
Eric,
watched it
because it went
religiously.
way over Eric's head.
Yeah.
You know, we have a reputation, this show, of bringing topics up throughout the week, like Justin Timberlake versus Mick Jagger. So we're going to bring this one up again, Anna Rosa. So when you think of Joe Pesci, what movie do you think of?
Yeah, I don't know. I really
Do you know
don't
any movies with Joe Pesci?
No.
Crickets.
Beeline.
Huh?
Our editor-in-chief, Billy Lucci, Beeline is how you pronounce it.
Okay, thanks, Luch. How about all the Lethal Weapon movies Joe Pesci was in?
Yeah, Louis gets. Whatever Louis wants,
Louis gets.
you have no idea what we're talking about, do you?
No. Like I said, I've watched the movie once, and I
How
was
about
on my
my
phone
cousin?
for
How
half
about
of it.
my
so-
cousin Vinny? The two Utes. You ever see My Cousin Vinny?
She doesn't like this topic at all. She
Guys.
hates it.
Don't nod on the radio. You have to actually respond.
Yeah,
The two
no,
Utes.
That's for our friends on the CW. I saw this note as I was preparing for the interview. You guys are the winningest program in Texas since 2010. What has been the secret to the success?
Yeah, if you think about it, in the last decade, we're the sixth winningest program in the country in Division I, behind North Dakota State, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Oklahoma. And I think a lot of it's obviously the great location. The other part is that I have people above me who want us to be successful. I mean, it's really hard to win unless the people above you want you to win. And when I came to Sam Houston, it was pretty evident, talking to Bobby Williams, our athletic director, that he's bringing me here to win a national championship. That was the whole mindset. You've done this. You've been in a bunch of national championship games. We've been there, but we want to win that next game, be the national champs. And I said, yeah, that's why I'll come, because, I'm going to pack up the rescue dog and my wife and move 1,500 miles to Texas, because I want to try to win another national championship. And that's what was great about coming here. I knew I could do it here. Not only my location, but also the commitment from the people around me. They wanted to win a national championship.
So let's get to know the team a little bit. Tell me about the spring. I know you've had some departures. Some guys hope to be playing in the NFL. I know you had a huge pro day recently. Just tell me about who's on the roster this year that we need to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, we graduate like 11 All-Americans. And so that's hard. But at the same time, we have some great players coming back. I think Ife Adehi is probably the guy everyone's going to know about. He had the reception in the North Dakota State game, the big reception, 3rd and 10 down the sideline, catches the ball, almost going out of bounds, guy draped on him. We go down, score 2 plays later, and then he had the touchdown catch in the national championship game to win the national championship with 16 seconds left. So he's a guy, maybe the fastest player I've ever coached. We just got done doing 40s out there, with our strength training program. We kind of end spring ball early so we can get back in the weight room and hit. And he was in mid 4.3s. He's just a great player. We're going to do a lot of stuff with him. So excited to have him back. We lose a ton of guys on defense, but Trevor Williams, our middle linebacker, who's actually a College Station kid. I mean, he's a kid who walks on. No one's scholarship, and he's 5'9", 195 pounds. Ends up being one of the best players in America. He's hasn't grown. He's still 5'9", but he's about 205, 210 pounds. Just got done benching 405. Just a great team leader, just all over the field. We call him the field mouse because, you can't find him sometimes out there. But so we have, a couple great players on offense and defense coming back. But boy, we're going to have a lot of new players when we open up against A&M, that's for sure.
Colton Thomason was one of the names that I know you have spoken glowingly about, but you feel like that name's going to continue to grow.
He's my Hunter Erb of this class, the guy they took early. Didn't have a ton of competition when they took his commitment. Texas had offered and was pushing to get him on campus. But as his body continues to mature and his game continues to mature, he is on a stock up kind of offseason right now in a big way. So he actually measured in at over 6'8", and who knows? Like somebody told me that he was actually closer to 6'9". I still think he's in that 6'7", 6'8" range. But flat-bellied, really improving in terms of his footwork because his body's improved. His footwork and his athleticism have greatly improved, and he took home offensive line MVP honors and just used his mass, his length, his hands really well. And I thought with that improved footwork, he was able to mirror defensive pass rushers in one-on-ones much better. He's keeping his body in between their body. He's not having to reach so much with his hands. Did a good job of keeping himself in front of these pass rushers and took on MVP honors. And I thought that it was well-deserved. And he is an outstanding spokesman for this 2023 A&M class. He's going to try to do it like Bobby Taylor did, but not in Bobby's way.
His way.
Right, in his own way. He's working really hard on some of the offensive line targets. He mentioned Harris Sewell and TJ Shanahan by name. Colton has also now scheduled his official visit during June. So the first week of A&M camps on campus in June, the camp start on Wednesday. Can't remember, Wednesday or Thursday. Anyway, he's going to come camp on that Thursday, and then he'll start his official visit on Friday. Harris Sewell is coming in with him on that weekend, and he's working to get TJ Shanahan in for their official visits all at once. So I think that was something that he and Coach Adazio kind of put together, schemed so that A&M could try to close the door on those two recruitments going into the summer, and those would be just enormous recruiting wins up front on the offensive line, especially in state. And talking to Colton, talking to his dad, they're super fired up to be Aggies, and he is as rock solid as anybody that's ever been committed to A&M.
Yeah, I saw some of the videos you posted. I mean, it's impressive stuff.
For being that big, and I think sometimes it's lost on just how massive of a human being he is. It's Deuce Fathery-esque. When I was covering Deuce in high school, there were very few guys that could make me feel like really small. Deuce was one of them, and Colton's that way as well. So,
hey, Kendall, I do want to close up shop with something you touched on a moment ago, that if A&M does win this series against Vandy, it could set up for them to be hosting a regional. So how big of a series is it for both, though? Because Vandy's playing for a lot as well.
Yeah, I think Vandy's one of those weird teams. If you look at their resume right now, I mean, they're 3-6 against top 25. They're 7-8 against top 50. And, they kind of treaded water against, Auburn and then South Carolina. They lost both those series back-to-back. And so I think Vanderbilt's one of those teams that they're really young on the mound. When you look at Carter Holton and guys like that. They got some veteran pieces offensively, but they've had some learning experiences on the mound a little bit. And I think as the season goes on, they're going to continue to get better and better. I think getting Vanderbilt now is better than getting Vanderbilt in, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks. So I think they're going to continue to get better. But yeah, I mean, they'll be in the hosting discussion. And again, I think the winner of this weekend series, I think, controls their own destiny in terms of a host. I think if A&M loses that series, they still have a good shot because I think that, they would win those 2 home series. And I think if they won that final series going into Hoover, their conference record's still looking pretty good, like very much in the hosting discussion. So I'll be interested to see how it plays out, seeing those young bandy arms against A&M's potent offense.
And then last thing for you, Trevor Warner coming back. He's not the Trevor that we saw early, but it's great to have him in the lineup when he gets going. What that's going to do for the rest of the lineup.
Yeah, well, what I like to see is, I'm trying to remember what inning it was in, but I want to say Arkansas had a runner in scoring position. It was maybe in the 7th on Sunday, and he kind of has to go to his left, and he kind of makes a little bit of a tough play, and he's got a fast runner, and he just throws the ball on a strike to first base in the inning. And I thought that was a big play for him personally, just because he's had a long road. He hasn't always been the healthiest with his wrist and things like that. So to me, that stood out. I think the simple fact that he's in the lineup just helps the offense in general. I think just having that powerful presence in that lineup takes some pressure off the guys, and pitchers now know that even near the bottom of that lineup, they can't take it for granted with a guy like that in there. So I think just the simple fact of having him in that lineup helps that team a lot.
Kendall Rogers there on the BCSI hotline from D1 Baseball. Kendall, appreciate your time, man. We'll talk soon.
You got it, buddy. Have a good week.
You too,
Thank
man.
You.
All right, so a couple things. I was tasked with the thought to give some props to those who comment on this YouTube show. So I want to say thank you to a couple of guys. Noble Guy, we've got Zygot Peyote, and Nolan Moore, who are constantly commenting on the show. Thank you, guys. You get your shout out like 97.9 The Box. What's up, y'all? What are you going to do? All right, and also, hopefully some of you can comment below on what we talked about. Goodfellas, TexAgs, who are the players? Who's Joe Pesci? Who's Robert De Niro? All those guys. Paul Sorvino, another one. Elaine Bracco. I want to hear from you down below. We'll see you guys next time.